It is vital to reflect on the lengthy history of the character in order to comprehend the significance of the potential departure of Taylor from the television show The Bold and the Beautiful. Hunter Tylo, who is both handsome and skilled, made his debut on the show in 1990, playing the role of Taylor Hayes from the beginning. Her deep-seated relationship with Ridge Forrester, the love of her life, which was initially portrayed by Ron Moss and later transferred to Thorsten Kaye, contributed to her rapid ascent to the top of the fan favorites list. The complicated love triangle that Taylor had with Ridge and Brooke Logan, who was portrayed by Catherine Kelly Lang, became one of the most famous and long-lasting rivalry in the history of soap operas. In her role as the moral and nurturing counterpart to Brooke's more fiery and seductive character, Taylor frequently found herself confused between the ethical standards of her professional life and the feelings she felt on a personal level. Taylor was recognized for being grounded and empathic in her role as a psychiatrist, but her vulnerability in matters pertaining to the heart sometimes put her in a state of sadness and torment. It is not accurate to say that Taylor's romantic life has been the sole focus of her character development. Over the course of her career, she has been a part of a number of significant narratives that have put her determination to the test. From surviving plane accidents and brain tumors to being shot and assumed dead, Taylor's life has been full of both tragedy and success. She has survived both with flying colors. The fact that she is the mother of Steffi and Thomas Forrester has also contributed to the development of her character, highlighting the fact that she is a fiercely protective mother who is devoted to her children. Nevertheless, despite the fact that Taylor's history as a significant role on The Bold and the Beautiful cannot be refuted, her future has been called into question in the most recent months. It's possible that the character is getting close to the finish of her quest. The fact that Hunter Tylo, who had first played the role, did not return to the show on a full-time basis following her most recent brief appearance on the show sparked the beginning of rumors of Taylor's potential exit from the show. Despite the fact that Taylor has always appeared and disappeared from the canvas, the fact that she has been absent for significantly longer lengths of time has led people to wonder about her future. In 2019, Tylo returned her character for a brief storyline that followed Taylor's departure from town, following yet another conflict with Brooke. Despite the fact that Taylor has been mentioned in subsequent episodes, her absence from the show has been conspicuous ever since. It seemed increasingly strange that Taylor was not present on The Bold and the Beautiful as the show progressed with important storylines for characters such as Steffi, Ridge, and Thomas. Take a look at the rumor mill. There were hints that showrunner Brad Bell had been contemplating making big alterations to the character of Taylor, according to sources located close to the production. One of the hypotheses that is gaining momentum is that Taylor might be doomed to a catastrophic end, one that might result in her being written off for good through a fatal accident or a terminal illness. There is a possibility that Taylor could be eliminated from the game. This is not completely out of the question, despite the fact that daytime soap operas are infamous for dramatic deaths and resurrections at the very last minute. It is possible that Brad Bell is indeed preparing to put an end to Taylor's life definitively. When it comes to the fate of well-liked characters, Brad Bell, who serves as both the executive producer and head writer of The Bold and the Beautiful, has never been afraid to make courageous choices. Bell has frequently taken risks that have left fans talking for years, whether it's character deaths, startling recastings, or shocking betrayals. His vision for the show is always geared to push the edges of what is possible. With Taylor, Bell is confronted with a problem that is one of a kind. On the one hand, the character is profoundly ingrained in the history of the show, and her connections with Ridge, Steffi, and Thomas are critically important to a number of the continuing plots. On the other hand, the fact that Hunter Tylo only appears in the show on an infrequent basis has made it challenging to keep Taylor as the show's primary character. The possibility of recasting the role of Taylor is one of the potential solutions that has been discussed. Recasting is a regular procedure in soap operas, particularly in situations where a character is too important to let go of but the original actor is either unable or reluctant to return to the role. This is especially true in situations where many fans have a strong emotional attachment to Tyler's portrayal of the character. Is it possible that Brad Bell is considering casting a different actor to portray the role of Taylor Hayes? It is possible that recasting Taylor would give the character a fresh lease on life, enabling her to continue to play a role in the lives of her children, and even enable her to reignite former romantic relationships, maybe with Ridge. A recasting of such a legendary character, on the other hand, would definitely be met with opposition. There are a lot of fans who believe that Hunter Tylo is irreplaceable, and if a new actor were to play the character, they might get a lot of negative feedback. The death of Taylor, on the other hand, would be a dramatic and conclusive statement. It would be a method to send shockwaves through the Forrester family as well as through the fan base. Steffy and Thomas, who would have to come to terms with the death of their mother, would be particularly affected by such a decision, which would have long-lasting potential consequences. There is also the possibility that a terrible death could pave the way for emotional narratives that investigate sorrow, reconciliation, and the dynamics of families. In the event that Brad Bell did make the decision to eliminate Taylor, the consequences of this decision would be felt throughout the whole Forrester family. Taylor has always been a reassuring presence for her children, and despite the fact that her relationship with Ridge is tumultuous, it continues to be one of the most prominent love stories on the program. It is especially likely that Steffy would be utterly heartbroken if her mother passed away. Taylor has always been someone who Steffy has looked up to for counsel, particularly during times of personal crisis. Steffy is a mother herself. When Steffy was going through some of the most difficult times in her life, such as the death of her twin sister Phoebe, the difficulties she was experiencing in her marriage to Liam, and the challenges she was facing in managing Forrester Creations, Taylor was there for her. In the absence of Taylor, Steffy would be compelled to confront her difficulties without the assistance of her mother, a circumstance that has the potential to result in emotionally fascinating arcs for the character. The sadness that Steffy is experiencing may also have an effect on her relationships with the people in her immediate environment, such as her brother Thomas, her father Ridge, and even her on-again, off-again romantic interest that is Liam. There is a possibility that the passing of Taylor will act as a defining moment for Thomas in his continued quest to demonstrate that he is a reliable and responsible parent. Her passing may compel Thomas to address his unresolved feelings and force him to make difficult decisions about his future. Thomas has always had a troubled connection with his mother, but her passing may force him to confront those feelings anyway. There is also Ridge to consider. Ridge would surely be plunged into a tornado of emotions in the event that Taylor ever passed away. In spite of the fact that Ridge is currently married to Brooke, his relationship with Taylor has never wavered since they first met. On account of the many highs and lows that they have experienced together throughout the course of their relationship, her passing would leave him struggling with unresolved feelings of guilt and loss. When it comes to the realm of soap operas, death frequently drives people closer together or drags them further apart. In the event that Taylor were to pass away, one of the most fascinating aspects to observe would be the impact that her passing would have on the relationship between Brooke and Ridge. Over the course of several decades, Brooke and Taylor have been rivals, mostly due to the fact that they both have feelings for Ridge. Because both of the ladies are competing for Ridge's devotion, they have repeatedly come into conflict with one another. The fact that Ridge's connection to Taylor has never completely gone is something that Brooke has always been acutely aware of, despite the fact that Ridge ultimately made the decision to be with Brooke. It is possible that Brooke and Ridge will become closer to one another as they grieve together as a result of Taylor's passing, because it will eliminate the predominant hurdle in their relationship. As Ridge works through the process of grieving the loss of someone who was once such an important part of his life, Brooke may prove to be a source of support for him, despite the fact that she has his differences with Taylor. The death of Taylor, on the other hand, has the potential to rekindle the previous tensions that existed between Brooke and Ridge. The experience of grief has a way of bringing up memories from the past, and Ridge may find himself contemplating the tangled history he shared with Taylor. It is possible that Brooke will develop feelings of insecurity, as she may wonder whether Ridge's heart will ever completely belong to her, or whether a portion of him will always belong to Taylor. Brooke and Ridge's relationship has the ability to either get stronger in the face of tragedy or be torn apart by unresolved sentiments and previous wounds. The potential for emotional fallout is enormous, and the relationship might either grow stronger or be torn apart. The fan community of The Bold and the Beautiful has been overflowing with speculation as rumors regarding Taylor's future continue to surface. Many different feelings have been triggered by the concept of using Taylor, a character who has played a pivotal role in the narratives of the program for more than 3 decades. These feelings range from grief and disbelief to indignation. Many viewers are adamantly opposed to the concept of murdering off Taylor, claiming that her character still has a great deal more to offer than what has been shown so far. A number of people have resorted to social media in order to express their support for Hunter Tylo. They have urged the actress to come back to the program and continue playing the character that made her a legend in the world of soap operas.